Hello, I'm Carter Hillier here on ESPN Disney Sports. I'm here with
Davin Ross.
and
Rowan Wilkins.
and today we're going to be talking about most impactful NFL players right now. Davin, who do you think is the most impactful player in the NFL right now?
To start, I'm going to have to say it's Derrick Henry from the Tennessee Titans. Even in spite of his injury, the Titans still were able to make it through. We're still able to make it through, but Derrick Henry, I believe they were undefeated for those 6 weeks that he was playing. Then he got injured. They still managed to make the playoffs, but Derrick Henry couldn't do any more.
All right, who do you think?
I'm gonna have to say Rashad Bateman or Lamar Jackson because the Ravens they didn't do good without Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson to keep using Rashad Bateman has to step up for them. They need a wide receiver. Brown was traded. They don't know. They know they need a number one wide receiver. Number one wide receiver has to be a good wide receiver.
All right, for me, I think the most impactful player is TJ Watt. I mean, we saw this last season, tying the sack record. He's had the most forced fumbles in the league since he's came in, and he has the most sacks in the league, I'm pretty sure, since he's came in. He's been an impactful player for a long time, and we don't find a lot of game records in the game besides people like Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett. All right, now let's talk about contenders for the Super Bowl. Who do you think is going to make it?
Personally, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are the number one contenders right now, as they can win the AFC North. I firmly believe that they can win the AFC North with two new rookies such as Kenny Pickett and George Pickens. With, as you said, TJ Watt leading that defensive line, I think that the Steelers could be unstoppable this season if Mike Tomlin can coach this team.
All right, who do you think?
I think the Chargers can make it because of their great defensive pickups. They have a great quarterback, great wide receivers. I feel like all they need is one tight end and they'll be all the way there.
All right. For me, my contender, I'm going to pick the Saints. I just think this team is stacked from top to bottom on the roster. I mean, they had no wide receiver core. Their number one was Marquez Callaway. Now they have Michael Thomas coming back. They picked up Jarvis Landry. They got Chris Olave. Alvin Kamara looks like he might not even be suspended this year. Famous Jameis is coming back. They got the Honey Badger. I mean, there's nothing else you could want from this team. And not even to mention Trevor Penning looked great in his first preseason game. It looks like we have a caller. Hello, you're on ESPN Disney Sports. What's your name?
Hey, I'm Jack. I was hearing you talking about Super Bowl contenders, and I did hear you mention the Buffalo Bills. They seem like to be a pretty big contender. What's your opinion on them?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. Davin, what are your thoughts on the Buffalo Bills?
All right, so first, you have to consider that the Buffalo Bills are in one of the most competitive conferences and divisions in the entire league. And that the Buffalo Bills are not really falling off, but they're getting there.
All right, what's your thoughts on the
I
Buffalo
would
Bills?
say that they have good number one in wide receiver. They have Gabriel Davis as their number two. They need a running back. They do not know their running back. You get a good running back and you're set for the running game because you can't just run with your quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, my thoughts on the Buffalo Bills is they're a very talented team. But we see time and time again, they just can't win in the playoffs sometimes. They make some deep runs, but it's usually the Chiefs are just knocking them off. I think that defense is a bit overrated. People were calling it number one last year, but I think the only reason is because their stats were kind of inflated from games against bad offenses. I like Josh Allen, but sometimes I feel like he just, gets out-battled in some games. With all due respect, I think he's a great player. I just think that team is great, but I don't know if they have the talent to be able to beat some teams out like the Chargers, the Chiefs. You can even put the Dolphins there if you wanted to, but I think there are a lot of teams that they just can't beat out. All right, that's the end of our show. Thank you for coming. I'm here with
Davin Ross.
and
Rowan Wilkins.
signing off. Thank you for coming.